Good evening, folks. Thanks for hanging on there as we got started this evening. Welcome to round 4 of the ORL Season 1 Division 1 Championship, and we're in China this weekend. Alongside me in the commentary box, as per usual, the lovely voice that is Silly. Welcome along.
Good evening. Looking forward to another fantastic race around the Chinese circuit.
Yeah, should be a really good one. Practice earlier in the week was quite fun. A lot of the, if I remember rightly, a lot of low 135s from some of the top drivers. Yeah, and there was quite a lot of very close times in practice, so qualifying should be quite interesting.
Yeah, a lot of these boys don't like to be coming second or third or down in 8th or 9th place, so they've been putting in the hours, racking up some time in the game, and they're all getting massively quicker.
Yeah, as you said, it's like week in, week out. We are seeing faster drivers. We are seeing the results kind of mix and match up as well, which will lead us to. I think everyone should be getting started any minute now. Qualifying will be getting underway, which again is 18-minute short qualifying, followed by a 50% race, which I believe should be 28 laps of China. So before the drivers get started up and we go into qualifying, we'll have a quick look at the drivers' standings going into today's race. So ahead of the championship is Octopus with 69 points, Nexus on 57 and Scotty on 39, so pretty tight at the top. Followed by Goblin in 4th with 31 points, Fade with 22 points in 5th, Weasel in 6th with 11 points, Haze 95, 7th with 10 points. Joint 7th is Walter White with again 10 points. Caparaz in the Williams in 9th with 9 points. And running out the top 10 we have Chaza. Stadium with 8 points. Chaza is in 11th with 8 points. And just before we get qualifying underway, quickly into the team standings. As you can see there, Haas in the lead by quite a country mile with 91 points, followed closely by AlphaTauri, 56 points, and Red Bull in 3rd on 45 points. So, constructors-wise, Haas are running away with it. But in terms of the Drivers' Championship, anything can go, Silly.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, it's incredibly close at the top there. Not in the constructors, obviously, but I mean, it's getting to the point here where the Haas boys can take a week off and still carry on leading the championship.
Yeah, they pretty much could. Your boys, the Mercedes team, not doing so great, down in joint 8th position with, in fact, they should be 9th position. I think there's been a typo there on the screen, with only 12 points, just 2 ahead of the bottom team of Racing Point. So some improvement to come from your boys this evening, I think.
Yeah, they're moving in the right direction, though. They're making some mistakes still. They taking part in the F2 series now as well. We raced yesterday. Sadly, no stream for that because both of us wasn't feeling the best. But yeah, they had a solid finish in the F2 yesterday and got some massive points for the HWAs.
Oh, that's some excellent, feedback there from the F2s. But as you said, it wasn't the best of races. But here you go.
Have you seen the screen here?
We have a wet qualifying, ladies and gents, for China.
Oh, baby!
I don't think anyone was ready for this. Do we have any news on the race, or is we just got the qualifying weather so far?
Just the qualifying weather at the moment. Give me a moment, and I shall have a prod around down in the pit lane.
Lovely stuff. So we don't really need the tyre choice out because everyone apart from Simpans, everyone has switched on to the wet. So it is an extremely damp track as we have the first drivers heading onto the track on board with Nexus at the moment. So as you can see, we're down to 17 minutes. The first minute was obviously everyone having a panic and realising they don't have a wet weather set up for this track. It's going to be fun to see how these guys kind of handle it as Nexus is already testing the limits of that AlphaTauri. It's going to be an interesting race, that's for sure.
News from the pit lane. It's a full wet qualifying session, and going into the race, it's going to begin to be dry, but there are rain clouds on the horizon.
Oh, so we're going to have a mix and match race. This is going to make things extremely entertaining for the duration of the race. I think it's going to be action-packed. Your thoughts on any safety cars?
I don't think I've got enough fingers and toes.
Well, let's hope. I mean, we didn't stream the F2 yesterday, but it was, from what I hear, very incident-packed. I'm hoping from the Division 1 at least, it's not going to be like that. If you have noticed a slight quality increase on the stream today, I have managed to twiddle a little bit. Ooh, major lock up there from Nexus on the outlap. I have twiddled about a little bit with the HDR settings on the NVIDIA kind of graphics settings, and I've got to admit, it looks more atmospheric than it has done before. So a nice little feature to add to the stream. Let's hope it works. I have seen that there are some bugs with it, but we'll just see how that is. On board with Brandy as he comes down the back straight. That McLaren looks absolutely lovely, even despite the horrible weather. As we have a few guys who are just not wanting to go out at the moment. I don't blame them. They're maybe hopefully waiting for the rain to ease off, but if I hear that right, it isn't going to ease off.
I popped into the Mercedes garage and they're seeming to think it's going to be a fully solid wet qualifying session.
That's what I hear as well. So it's going to be sodden for the duration of this race. We do have a couple of new drivers, if not just the one new driver. I believe we have Harris standing in this afternoon as one of the Ferraris is going around in circles. Harris is still in the pits. He's one of our Formula 2 drivers. I believe he's also a DT driver, so he's getting involved in a bit of everything. So he's stepping in this afternoon for Goblin, who is unable to make the session.
Yeah, and 4th place in the championship currently, Goblin, so he's going to lose out on some points here. This is the day where some people behind need to rack up some big points.
Yeah, he's going to stumble behind, but we'll just see how it goes. I've also just received a weather report as well, confirming what you were saying. Wet qualifying, dry to start the race, but possibly wet by the end, which will make things extremely fun. We're on board with Nexus on his first flying lap. It majorly locks up, both front wheels absolutely on the limit. You can see how difficult it is, even for a driver like Nexus's standard. This normally would be flat out coming round here onto the back straight, but he's not having a good run. Oh, Stadium has left the session. He may need an invite back.
I'm working on it as we speak.
Lovely stuff. Stadium, another one who could really do with a handful of good points today, is Nexus is just absolutely locking those front wheels up going into every single turn. He's pushing that car to the limit. Harris, Venom, Simpans and Stadium are the only ones not out on track. Edic, who's set the benchmark with a 150, is smashed by Nexus with a 147, dead almost. Little Hayes is in 3rd. Brandy, great time, a 149.2 up into 2nd place. Still a major difference between those guys and Nexus.
Yeah, it's unbelievable time, isn't it? Just showing that Nexus has obviously been practicing in the wet here.
It has been indeed. This is probably the best thing to do is, during the week is to test yourself with different setups, different conditions, because you never know what these races are going to bring. And to be honest, I prefer a wet race. It really, you can see more of the driver's talents in these conditions. So we're just going to follow on board with Fade. Let's see if he can get anywhere close to Nexus's time right now. So Shirt goes 2nd with a 149.1. Brandy in 3rd again with a 149.2. And he is literally a couple of hundredths quicker, if that. Oh, going to be big slides from Fade there. Ahead of Little Hayes. Alexander again, not far. Oh, and we've lost Brandy already. Fade goes 2nd with a 148.3. So obviously, by the sounds of things, Brandy went a bit wide. He's came back onto the track and accidentally came onto the track the wrong way.
Yeah, we've seen that quite a few times now, haven't we? I believe 3 times now we've seen people going or getting DQ'd for driving the wrong way. Yeah, just a complete Codemasters bug that he wasn't actually driving the wrong direction. Yeah,
I believe Craig also had that issue. His Nexus does a 146.6. And to put that in perspective, Octopus on his first run did a 147.3. So, yeah, Nexus is really putting the hammer down this evening already in these early phases of qualifying. Good to see Stadium's back. He's going to be really needing to get a lap in. We're on board with Chaz at the moment. He looks like he's struggling in these conditions. Scott, 147.8 in third place.
It's a difficult question to ask, isn't it? Your engineers, what do you do? Do you sacrifice qualifying for a better race car if it continues to be dry? Or do you go all out for qualifying, get that track position, and then struggle in the dry? It's a difficult one.
It is a really difficult one, and especially if the conditions are going to be changing through the race as well. We don't know exactly how long this wet period is expected in the race. I've just been told it's going to be at the end, but for how many laps exactly is the end, as Chaza does a 9th place run with a 149.7. The unfortunate thing for Brandon, this is what I feel bad for him, is he actually put in a really good lap time before getting disqualified. He would have been sat about 6th, 7th about now. But yeah, just because of the little bug that has happened, he's unfortunately going to be starting at the back of the grid.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, and we were discussing this yesterday during the F2 race that we really hope that F1 2021 has some admin features for open lobbies.
Yeah, it would be nice for that, especially some extra maybe commentary features, you know. What we have is nice, but it would be good to have a little bit more control over, you know, how we present what we've got for ourselves right now.
Yeah, and also the situation that happens under the safety car where you get a little bit of desync of the car in front, you end up with a 5-second penalty for no reason, and there's no way to strip that, even though it should be stripped. So
yeah, we have
to suffer with it.
Yeah, it's like that. We have to kind of work it into the final, you know, the final. Oh my words. Into the final race results as Weasel goes 4th with a 147.8. Thank you very much for the follow, Stefan P66. Hope you're enjoying what we are presenting to you. Another shout out before we carry on with the session is I Am the Panda Now with a subscribe to the channel as well. So big appreciation to you, Panda.
Yeah, great. Nice to have these new people on board.
Yeah, Panda is a D2 driver, if I believe I'm correct.
He is indeed, Jeff, for the Ferrari team.
Yeah, he's friends with the Hayes brothers, who, as I said, is currently Little Hayes sitting in 5th, and Big Hayes down in 15th, but he's on an outlap. He's on board with Alexander at the moment, he's on an outlap. Harris is on a bit of a quick one. He's currently in 9th. As I said, he's just doing the whole reserve thing at the moment. In place of Goblin. So let's see what the young reserve driver can pull off. He was really quick in the D2 series, I'll give him that. Very, very fast indeed.
He is indeed, and in the F2s yesterday he put in some good times.
Let's see if he goes down into this last hairpin. Touches that apex, absolutely beautiful, very nice exit. Next is at the moment Untouched, still with a 146.6 for provisional pole position. We haven't had Octopus coming back out, and Harris goes over across the line for 7th place with a 148.448. Just ahead of Chaza and Blaine. Chaza and Blaine, that is extremely close between the two Mercedes drivers. There's nothing between their times.
Yeah, they like to hold hands, so perfect positioning.
Whatever they do behind the garage doors is their own business. Fade up into 3rd. He's jumped Weasel. So it seems to be business as usual at the top of the field.
It is indeed. Again, nobody's in the same postcode as Nexus.
Oh no, he's in a little. He's off to the next event. He's already claimed his points and he's away home. He's that far ahead. Just under 7 minutes to go in the session. Venom, I think, is going out for another lap, a 2:41. I don't think that represents his quickest time. Don't know how much it rains in South Africa or how much those boys are used to driving in the wet, but he'll be giving it a shot.
Venom literally drives without any wings on his car, so it's going to be really difficult for him to get through the twisty sections on this circuit. And he's also it's not just raining on circuit. He's had a few tipples this evening as well, celebrating Valentine's Day. So
Oh yeah, happy Valentine's to all those out there who are celebrating it. And if you're not, come join us, because your love is F1. F1 will never leave you. Venom did crack a lap in there, but a 150.8, still sat in 18th position, so he is struggling. Well, she on an outlap at the moment. Big Hayes is on a bit of a quicker one, I think. He is. He's about second up. And by my timings, that will put him in around about 12th position if he finishes. His Edic is gone 12th position, splitting the Renaults with a 148.795. So let's see what Big Hayes can do. As that Ferrari comes across the line, he was 13th with a 148.9, so he didn't get as much time as he would have wanted, but
Caparaz is really struggling out there today as well. The new Williams driver, 5 seconds off of the rest of the field. Obviously hasn't been practicing in the wet.
No, very true. It's such a shame because, as we keep saying, he had a bit of a rough and tumble first race at Albert Park. He's came on strong in race 2 and 3, and race 4 seems to be his undoing. He's gone slightly quicker there with a 153, but nothing to shout home about as we're back on board with Nexus as he goes out for another run to try and solidify his place at the front of the grid.
Yeah, Octopus and Fade and Weasel are all out on outlaps now as well. I'm on board with Octopus to see what his sector times will be like. He's just coming through the end of Sector 2 now on his outlap, so
it looks like Nexus will be catching up with him. He's got about a lap ahead. 4 minutes to go in the session now, so we will be expecting some of the guys to be coming out and pushing for their fast laps. It's Nexus throwing that car about.
Octopus has just lost it on the hard right-hand turn going onto the back straight. He's currently on the grass. Not the great way to start up to a flying lap.
No, yep, just caught him there as well. He's going to have some pretty mucky cold tyres, so he'll be struggling there. Nexus is quicker going through Sector 2 into Sector 3. As we've lost El Mariachi, it looks like he's had an accident somewhere on track. We've got yellow flags coming into the final hairpin, so maybe he's lost it down there.
I only see some slow-moving cars there. I can't see any cars stationary.
Well, we've lost him somewhere. We might catch him up at the end of the race to see what goes on. We've got a couple of folks in chat. The Ledge Haze, support for the Hazies and the Panda. And Beth Jones are regular in chat, waving the flag for the Scuderia Ferrari and the Hayes brothers. Good to see you back in the chat, Beth. So, I think Nexus did go slightly faster, not entirely sure. I don't think he actually did, to be honest. I think it was held up in tractors.
Octopus 0.002 seconds quicker, so not a lot faster. He needs to find a lot more time there to get anywhere close to Nexus.
Yeah, he's going to need about 3/4 of a second. Craigalopicus in chat just said Scotty for another possible podium. Well, he is in 5th place at the moment. Scotty seems to be handling these conditions a lot better than Venom at the moment, so there is a possibility Scotty can wrangle together a good race and avoid some incidents. Octopus has lost time in the second sector, so unless he finds 3/4 of a second somewhere in this last part of the track, he's going to be stuck on a 2nd place.
He does have time to go again. Weasel's just taken 3rd place there, 147.367.
Oh, so he's gone faster than Fade. Lovely lap there by Weasel. Gonna go.
Fade is a 10th up. Fade is a 10th up as he comes into Sector 2 here.
Yep, just on board with Fade right now. Octopus lost it big style coming onto the last straight. Back end of the car was just not sitting. And he will not be improving on that lap. As King of Kart, Little Hayes, 5th place with a 147.7, has outdriven Scott into the top 5. So another fantastic lap from Little Hayes. Nexus with a 146.5. He's really putting a marker down there. Almost a second up on anybody else. Capraz has broke the time down to 151. As I say that, he has retired from the session. Oh no. I wasn't following him at the time, but that is my curse right there. As soon as I speak of praise of his improving lap times, unfortunately he has binned it somewhere out on track.
Going down into turn 1, I believe. I can see a stricken car out there.
We're going to go back on board with Octopus as he looks to improve. 35 seconds left in this session. His Octopus is absolutely thrashing that car about. He is a tenth and a bit up though. You can hear him shifting up those gears. He is not putting any torque through those back wheels in the slightest.
As we've lost another driver.
Oh, Simpan's has gone.
And
oh,
Simpan.
no.
They may just be retiring from the session themselves here because they can't get out to do another lap anyway.
There's a possibility, yeah. I don't see many yellow flag sectors, so that could be right. In chat, Hondo98, when will Nexus be joining the F Formula 1 World Championship? Well, at the rate he's going, probably at the end of Season 1.
Fade's on an absolute stonker as he's coming into Sector 3 here. 3 tenths up on his previous best lap.
Yes, he slides that car about. Is Octopus. Octopus with a 146.8, not quite quick enough though to challenge Nexus on pole. We're going to go on board with Fade now.
Yeah, he had a good turn coming onto this back straight here, not much drifting going on, so he's carried the speed.
Nexus a 146.3. He's just done fast lap after fast lap after fast lap without pitting. So he's half a second up on Octopus.
Yeah, the tyres in this kind of conditions aren't going to go off from you. You can afford to just bang in lap after lap after lap.
That's it. Third position for Fade with a 146.9. Fantastic lap from him there.
Yeah, they'll be happy they got into the 146. He's still not happy that they're half a second behind for Nexus.
Just caught up there, and Alexander has retired. I think he's just retired from the end of the session, knowing he can't improve. He did go off there. Stadium's just had a massive one coming onto the pit straight. Just caught the end of it there. It looked like he slid wide. He didn't Alexander Albon from a few years back. Kind of went wide. He's came across and he's hit that inside wall and ended his session early. And that'll be it from everybody then. Nexus on pole position, congratulations. He has mastered these wet conditions. Octopus in second, Fade in third, Weasel fourth, Little Haze in fifth, Alexander sixth, Scott seventh, Harris eighth, Chaza in ninth, and Blaine rounding up the top 10 in 10th. So Mercedes in 9th and 10th.
Perfect positioning for the race, I would imagine. Well, obviously not perfect. It would want to be number 1 and 2, but still comfortably in the middle of the pack. Anything can happen in this Chinese Grand Prix, and a little bit of slipstream goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you there. I said we've got a couple of long straights on this track. It's going to be interesting to see how the Mercedes boys kind of team up on this one. Turn 1 is going to be interesting, to say the least. Very, very interesting. So again, congratulations to Nexus. That was an absolute stunning set of laps, and there is your confirmation of our top drivers. Not the usual close running that we've seen in previous sessions. Not by a long shot, with Capraz being 5.5 seconds short of Nexus's time. But it just proves that one driver is more consistent in the wet than others.
Yeah, it just really goes to show who's been practicing in the wet and doing fully dry races.
Yeah, exactly. And personal preferences, I like the wet races. I do prefer them over dries, but then I'm a bit crazy in that respect. Yeah, let's hope we can get ourselves a damn good race. So here we go, sunshine to start off with, but it's not going to be like this for the entire race. It looks awfully bright on my screen.
It does indeed, yeah. The talk from the pit lane is that we're going to get some rain at the end, the back end of this race, but from the conditions here right now, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, is there any kind of clue on what lap they're expecting this weather turn?
It's anyone's guess, but I'm looking at the screen here, and from my eyes, I don't see any way that it's going to start raining at all. So it could just be a false positive.
We'll see. We'll see how it pans out. So it's going to be a nice shiny start to the race. Everyone's obviously getting their setups in order. It will be park farming rules, so the majority of the drivers will be on wet setups unless they were brave enough to go out on dries. I think the Mercedes boys might have went out on dry setups, which could put them well to start this race. We'll just have to see.
But definite that Venom didn't.
He
was 100% on a dry setup.
He didn't like he had any wings at all. As we're going to start our formation lap. So there you go. One stop strategy would be start on the mediums and end on the hards. We've got to remember everyone has a free choice of tyres here. Because of obviously wet conditions. We have Nexus is starting on the softs. It looks like Octopus is on the mediums and Fade's also on the mediums. So the Haas boy is going for the alternate strategy.
Indeed, but I think Nexus has pulled a rabbit out of a hat here. He's looked at it and knows that the chances of a safety car are extremely high. So doing a one-stopper isn't necessarily going to be the quickest way around this circuit. Get on those soft tyres, try and gain a nice gap until there's a safety car, then you can come on and put on some mediums or even put on the hards.
Yeah, there's a possibility. It looks like a one-stop will be manageable, but it will be from... If he looks after the softs, he will probably be able to go into the hards, otherwise he will be going for a two-stopper. But those on the mediums, they look like they could be going for that one-stop strategy onto the hards around about lap 17. Which would be weird, because I would have thought at that point you'd probably looking to go into the softs to finish the race. I think our race AWS kind of thing is not exactly being very accurate. That's a lovely scene there. All the cars wiggling back and forward up on that straight.
Yeah, hopefully Blaine doesn't bin it again. Oh no, there isn't a safety car out.
Anything's possible with the Mercedes boys. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to the start of this race. I think it's going to be an absolute blinder. Turn 1, going into turn 2, then sharp turn 3. It's going to be anything goes.
Yeah, we're going to see some kamikaze moves, some people in the midfield trying to gain some places.
That's exactly it. Zoe D. Desp 89, thank you very much for the follow, just in time for the main event as everybody lines back up onto the grids for 28 action-packed laps here at Shanghai, China for round 4, season 1, division 1, ORL World Championship. There's it looks I think someone was a little bit out of place there. Right, I want to go on board with... I'm going to go on board with Scott to see the start of this race. And we are off. No lights delay this time, silly. We are all good and go as every car looks to get off the grid really well. Going into the first corner, Nexus has a seriously good lead. Alexander looked like he had an opportunity running there. Oh, we got a racing point going sideways. Oh, we've lost one of the racing points.
Had a massive accident with a racing point.
Yeah, it looked like there was a bit of a crazy, and there we go, the first safety car. That did not take long. It looked like Edic went a bit sideways, and he got collected by a lot of the pack behind him.
Yeah, I think he just lost the back end as he was going into turn 1 there, and just the Constantina effect just collapsed everybody into the back of him.
Yeah, we've got penalties galore at the moment. Venom, Chaza, Brandy, Simpans, Bert the Shirt, Weasel and King of Kart have all got time penalties for that pretty chaotic start of the race. So that's unfortunate to see that we've already lost Edic by turn 1. Zoe Death89 in the chat. Hey man, how are you doing? We are doing very well, thank you very much. Action-packed start of the race. But not so good from the Racing Point standings, and also not very good for the Mercedes standings, with Chaza dropping a hell of a lot of positions, and Blaine also dropping positions at the start of this race.
Yeah, it was absolute carnage at turn one there. I didn't see if it was anybody's particular fault, but it looked like from me that it was the Racing Point just lost the back end a little bit, and Chaz ended up in the back end of him.
Yeah, very much a Roman Grosjean and Spain incident, just with a lot less tyre smoke. The Racing Point's back end kind of looked like it stepped out, and unfortunately, there's nowhere he could go, and there was nowhere else that anyone else could go. So and that's caused the accident. So as you can see there, the two-stop strategy will be laps 3 to 5 on the softs. As we see Brandy jumping into the pits, Simpanzins in the pits. We've got a lot of folk in the pits at the moment. Capraz has also dropped into the pits, so they'll be obviously looking to repair some damage. Chaz is in the pits, so he's obviously picked up some damage as well.
Yeah, he's missing both end plates on his front wing there.
So unlucky for Chaz. He's not had the best start to the last couple of races, has he?
No, he hasn't, but we know he's fast and he can come back, because my timing screen is going haywire. It's putting Chazza up to 6th at the moment, but that's obviously not correct.
Yeah, mine's saying Capraz in the lead, which is definitely not right. It always happens under these safety cars. Does the timing board just get a bit confused with itself?
What's the word confuddled?
Confuddled is very good. So we just joined Nexus at the back of the safety car right now. Hopefully the timing screen does sort itself out. So it should technically be from 5th place is technically first, and then it'll be Capraz, Simpaz, Boandi and Chazza bringing up the rear. There we go. Some kind of normality has been kind of restored. Nope, I take that back. There we go. Now it's back to normal. So let's see how this is going to go. There's a lot of, I think most of the guys at the back who had the accidents will catch that safety car queue pretty quickly. I can already see him on board with Capraz at the moment. He is already chasing down the back of the pack, which will be Venom.
Yeah, Chaz is at the back of this grid at the moment, and he's just coming around the final corner going onto the back straight.
Yep,
so not very far away at all.
Yeah, set of hards. I mean, they'll get him a good stint through the Grand Prix and then probably onto softs to finish it off. So not all is lost. As we now see the queue has been caught up on.
Chaz is going to be hoping that there's not going to be another safety car in this, and that he's going to try and make those hards last to the end, I would imagine.
See, he's done the smart thing as well. He's came in for the hards and he's served his time penalty under the safety car.
Yeah, he doesn't have much of a choice in that, sadly. That's what I was alluding to earlier when I was discussing about getting some admin roles. Because if you get that glitch right under the safety car, you get a penalty for hitting the car in front, which you didn't actually hit. You can't remove it, but you've got to serve it when you have to pit. So it can really throw you out of kilter.
Yeah, absolutely agree on that one. I said it was lucky. Oh, and there we go. Speaking of it, there is Venom having a collision with El Mariachi. So another 5-second time penalty onto Venom at the moment. So not the race start that he wanted in the Red Bull, and his teammate Scott as well seems to have dropped backwards slightly. As we've got on board with Nexus revving that engine, keeping it nice and toasty for the restart. Hopefully at the end of this lap though. There was quite a lot of debris to take away from turn 1, because it was quite a big accident with a lot of bits of carbon lying about.
Yeah, there was a lot of money strewn across the floor.
Oh yeah, I bet there was a few investors with some deep pockets having a little cry behind their desks. But such is the life of motor racing, as Weasel has just had a collision with Harris. Another thing these drivers need to not do is suddenly stomp on the brakes too hard, because it can put the drivers off behind. Safety car in this lap as well, so we will be going for green light racing. JM Orley, this is not a console, this is on the PC, my friend. Hence why it looks so good.
Venom with another 5-second penalty for causing a collision with Capraz.
So he's obviously put the brakes on, and Capraz is went into the back of him. Venom's kind of dropping off the back of the safety car queue, which will be annoying Capraz slightly, because you'll want to kind of close that gap up pretty quick. Chaz is doing the smart thing, he's staying right back.
is currently sitting on 15 seconds worth of penalties. Bert the Shirt with 10 and Weasel with 10 seconds. So Weasel up in 5th place. When he has to pit for his next set of wheels, he's going to have to take a 5-second penalty.
Nexus heavy on the brakes there. That was pretty bad. He braked very heavy coming out of that apex, and he's caused damage to the front of Octopus's car and gave him a time penalty. That will be reviewed at the end of the race, because I don't understand why he brakes so hard coming out the corner to an almost standstill.
Oh, we've had a massive accident at turn 1 again. It was a Red Bull. I think it was Scott. Yeah, Scott lost the back end and just collected a couple of cars. Blaine's got involved in that as well, but has managed to keep it back on, get back onto the circuit, up into 10th place again.
Yeah, as we see, Scott has a 10-second time penalty. Blaine has actually profited from that. The biggest profiter out of everything at the moment has been Welshie.
Yeah, look at him sat there comfortably in 9th place currently.
It's getting pretty racy at the back between Brandy and Caparaz. Brandy has gone round the outside and taken the place. As up ahead we have the battle between Simpans and Blaine. Blaine seems to be pushing. Simpans is not giving anything. This is fair wheel-to-wheel racing. This is fantastic. Blaine on the medium, Simpans on the hards. And Blaine has taken the position up into 10th place. So the Red Bull boys are not having a good start.
Simpans is on those tyres to the end of the race, well, we hope so anyway. He's already made a stop for those hard tyres.
Octopus is dropping down the order with that wing damage that was caused by Nexus slamming the brakes on coming out of the last corner. As I said, that will be getting investigated, because you shouldn't be braking to a standstill on the start-finish straight on a restart, as Octopus comes diving into the pits, almost completely misses his marker.
Blaine's in the pits. He lost a bit of front wing damage in that incident with Scott as well, so he'll be jumping onto the hard tyres as well, I'd imagine, to go to the end of this race.
Let's hope. Sprudle Dude says go Nexus in chat. He is in the lead, but he will be under investigation for that accident that he caused under the safety car restart. Welshie is now up into 7th and is honing in on the back of Little Hayes.
Is Big Hayes he's owning on the back on, and he's right, gaining massively on him.
Big Hayes struggling a little bit, but we'll come back to that one. Alexander is not too far behind Little Hayes, who is sitting pretty up in 3rd place. So Harris has had some damage. He's coming out the pits, which is a shame because he had such a good start to the race as well.
Indeed, yeah, I'm looking at the front 5 here, all sitting with penalties. The top 4 with 5-second penalties, which they're going to have to serve when they come into the pits to change tyres. And Weasel with a 10-second penalty. So, if Welshie gets on with it, he's looking at a podium here.
He can hope that'd be a fantastic result for him. On board with El Mariachi at the moment. As we see, Chaza is getting past Brandy. He has the inside line coming into the final chicane. Brakes nice and well. Brandy just lets it go. Doesn't put on much of a fight. And Chaza up into 9th position. So fantastic there. As it's all getting a bit tight up on the start-finish straight. Weasel in 5th, Hayes in 6th, and Welshie in 7th. They're all within a second of each other. DRS should be kicking off very soon.
It has indeed. We've just got the notification that DRS is enabled. We've already seen quite a few overtakes. This is going to make even more overtakes even easier.
There we go. So Big Hayes is closing in on Weasel, who's closing on an Alexander. The Ledge Hayes is following. Thank you very much. We appreciate all the support that we can get. This is going to get quite tight and tasty. Welshie is dropping off a little bit from this lead pack, but if he just keeps his nose clean, he could be in for a very good result. There's a great overview shot of Weasel closing down Alexander, with Big Hayes also closing in on the back of Weasel. And King of Karts seems to be running out away in 3rd behind Fade, who is behind Nexus. In chat we have Andromedic saying Nexus Gang. He's certainly got his followers as Nexus.
He does indeed, but as we've stated before, he's under investigation for an inappropriate restart after the safety car.
He is indeed, and that could affect the end of his race. A good racer, but everyone's prone to making a mistake now and then. As we are glued to this battle right now. It is fantastic. We have a yellow flag in Sector 2. What has happened? And Sector 3.
We've got a Red Bull in the wall.
Is it Venom?
I believe so.
He seems to be okay.
Yeah, he's got moving again. No front wing damage either. Oh, he's just lost it going around that turn there as well.
Oh, as he hits Harris, and Harris has got more wing damage.
Yeah, that wasn't Venom's fault. He lost it and just he stopped on the circuit. He couldn't go anywhere, so he just stayed still. And Harris just come around the corner and bumped into him.
Unlucky for both Venom and Harris. I feel especially bad for Harris because he's been having such a great race, and it seems to have just come undone from no fault of his own. As Octopus is on the hards, and he is absolutely pushing to make up time with Blaine right behind him in 16th position.
Yeah, both Venom and Harris picked up front wing damage there, so I'll see them in the pits again pretty soon, I would imagine.
Yep, exactly that. As Hayes is honing in on the back of Weasel, who is right up the gearbox of Alexander. Simpans is closing in on Welshie, who's brought back from this little battle that's going on. So it's getting a bit tasty as we look at Hayes, who may be lining up right now. DRS open on both cars. He has chewed up through all his ERS though. Sensibly not going for the dive bomb there. All three cars just staying line abreast. Going up to the final turn. So, to say one thing, the accidents we have seen haven't been the fault in particular of the drivers. There's been no one to actually pin a blame on. It's been racing accidents all the way, and just unfortunately the wrong place and the wrong time for a few of those drivers.
Yeah, the drivers have made some mistakes, losing the back end of the car, but at the start of the race at turn 1, you need to be giving people a lot more space to get yourself out of that situation in the first place.
That's it, as we're on board with Weasel, as we made a move on Alexander but has backed off, which has then opened the door again for Hayes. We were on board with Simpans chasing Welshie, as this battle seems to be raging on, as Simpans is really reeling in Welshie at the moment.
Yeah, Simpan's on a newer set of hard tyres, so he's still got the life there. They're coming 5 laps old now, so they're coming into their own really, these hard tyres.
Yeah, that's exactly it, and Welsh's mediums, as though they will be good at the moment, won't be good for long. The soft tyre runners will be having to pit in soon, I'm guessing. Nexus will be due for a pit stop very soon, which will let Fade break away. As I'm looking at the timings, Fade is slowly starting to claw the gap on Nexus, meaning the tyres are starting to turn.
Yeah, and Octopus set a fastest lap a couple of laps ago, down in 15th place on hard tyres.
Weasel trying to go around the outside of Alexander. Alexander holds it, but Weasel's going to have the inside line coming up into the final turn. Are they going to give each other space? They are, because Alexander dives into the pits, promoting Weasel up into 4th place.
Along with Nexus, he's in the pits as well, and King of Kart.
There we go, so we have ourselves the leading trio are in the pits, which allows Fade to break away on the mediums and start to really stretch the legs, as Venom is already being caught up by the leaders here on lap 9. El Mariachi's hounding in on the back of Scott as well. The Red Bull drivers are just not having the best of days at the moment.
Yeah, Scott's got himself back up to 8th place, but that's because of a few people pitting. Scott still needs to pit himself, and he does have a penalty to serve. He's got 10 seconds worth of penalties, so he's going to have to serve at least 5 of them when he makes his pit stop.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And Simpans has made his way past Welshie up into 4th position. So,
and who's that right behind Welshie now? Well, 1.7 seconds behind, but it's Chazza.
Chazza, last at one point at the start of this race, he has slammed on the hard tyres and has went full throttle revenge mode to try and make back those places.
Can he do a Perez? Last after lap 1 and come back to win the race?
No, that would be something to see, and I'm pretty sure he gets Steam achievement for that as well. So fingers crossed he can pull off both.
Well, if it works, if it carries on like this, everybody else in front of Chazza has to box again.
Brandy and Scott
no,
are having a
Simpans
tussle.
doesn't. Sorry, Simpans doesn't. He's already
That's
pitted.
right. Yep. So Scott got past Brandy there, up into 7th place. Brandy on the hard tyres, Scott on the medium still, but Scott will have to obviously pit and take a penalty. Brandy will have to get a penalty at some point as well to take. So
indeed, he's got 5 seconds there, along with El Mariachi.
Octopus is slowly clawing his way through the pack. He has got past Capraz and Stadium, so both the Williams have been overtaken, as he is a second and a half behind Little Hayes at the moment, who is on the fresher set of, I believe, hard compound tyres. So both drivers hoping to go to the end.
He is indeed on a fresh set of hard tyres, and yeah, we're looking at a one-stop strategy here by pretty much everybody in the field.
Capraz has pitted, so Stadium will obviously looking to pit in the next lap or two, but I think he's on softs as well.
Stadium, yeah, he's on 4-lap-old soft tyres, so he has already been into the pits once today.
King of Car is 8 seconds behind Nexus, who is now catching up to the back of his teammate El Mariachi, and if there's team orders in play, he'll let him past. Nexus has gone on to the mediums, so he's hoping to do about 19 laps on these tyres to see it out to the end.
A yellow flag in Sector 2, a slow-moving Renault there, I believe that is.
Let's go back down and see.
It was Bert slow-moving through Sector 2 there. He must have just had a spin and waiting for the camera angle to change. He doesn't seem to have any front wing damage, though.
I'm looking at it, it might have been Alexander, because the gap between Alexander and the Burt just came down by about 5 seconds.
Yeah, you're more than correct then.
Chazza has got past Welshie for 5th position. We saw that off screen, but I just noticed the times, and Welshie looks like he is starting to struggle a little bit on those medium tyres. But Chazza, he did put on those hards very early, so he's going to have to be extremely careful.
It doesn't bode well for Nexus's strategy here if he's trying to one-stop on those medium tyres.
Yep.
Welshie's only done 10 laps on them, and it looks like he's used up the most of the life of them already.
Yeah, Little Hayes is having a battle with Octopus at the moment for 11th place. Fantastic duel between those two, but Octopus looks like he's made it through. And he's up to 11th place, and he is closing in on El Mariachi as Barandi has been passed by a Nexus. As the field is starting to spread out a little more at the moment, Scott is slowly starting to claw the gap on Welshie for 7th. Chazza is breaking away from Welshie right now.
I'm just looking at this now, and Simpans is technically in the race lead here, because the 3 people in front of him have to stop, and they've got penalties. So Simpans and Chazza and Welshie are going to be our top 3 once these medium runners in front of them box.
That's right, and as much as Scott is catching Welshie, he does have a 5-second time penalty to contend with. And he's on the medium, so he will have to pit.
Yeah, Welshie does need to pit as well.
That's right. So Nexus is coming up behind Scott pretty quickly. Octopus is slowly getting up behind Al Mariachi, but not at the pace that Nexus was carving through the pack. Bert the Shirt and Stadium are having a nice little battle at the back here. Stadium has the DRS on Bert. So down in 16th position, and Bert as well down in 17th. Not where we normally see these drivers. It's obviously caught up in the earlier incidents, and they're just trying to do damage limitation. Venom, he's very quietly just living his life out the back. He's 11.5 seconds off the back of Harris, who's 34 seconds off the back of Bert.
Yeah, Venom's probably got a drink in hand, just enjoying the day.
More than likely. As long as he gets to the end without causing any more incidents, it all should be good. But yeah.
I mean, I was on board when Harris ran into the front of him, and it wasn't Venom's fault. He spun it, and Harris just went into the front of him. There's nothing Venom could have done differently there, apart from not spinning in the first place.
Yeah, and you know, it's just another racing incident. There can't be much said about that. As Scott is looking to make a dive on Welshie on the outside of the final chicane.
Oh, he's done the old switcheroo on him. That was beautiful by
He
Scott.
has done, got the power down, fresher rubber by the looks of things. Is Welsh going to dive into the pits? No, he's going to continue battling. Goes really wide around the last corner there. And
They're both on the same lap old tyres. Both on 12 lap old mediums.
So the pit window is now open for the hard tyre. So if anyone is wanting to dive in and switch up, they will do it now. Nexus is on the tail of Welshie on the fresher mediums. I can't see it's going to take him too long to get past him, unfortunately. He just seems to have a lot better drive out the corners. Welshie's a wee bit skittish, maybe not lacking. Oh, there's a wide lunge in there by Nexus, but well taken. Well, she's going to try and fight it, I think.
He's using up all his overtake, yeah, just trying to defend this as long as he possibly can. Getting a bit of screen time in here.
That's it, but unfortunately for him, Nexus has that fresher rubber, so there's only so much you can do in a battle of that kind of, in those circumstances, but kudos to Welshie for giving it a good shot. Oh, is he... Gives it a big wiggle coming out that corner. Those tyres must be crying for help right now.
He always likes the limelight. He knows we're talking about him, so he gave it a little wiggle just to put, make the fans go a little bit crazy.
Octopus has got past Mariachi. He's now closing on Brandy as we are following King of Kart, Little Hayes, as he scoops down the inside of El Mariachi now, up into 11th place. Blaine is catching El Mariachi, who's down in 13th right now. That is Blaine. And Octopus is hammering, but El Mariachi is looking to have a run back at Little Hayes. He has the inside line, does Mariachi. Cut check, there will be no switcheroo there because he shut the door. Oh, that's tight. Hayes is going to back off, maybe get him on the run down. It was a perfect cut of the apex there. And there you go, now it's the one-stop medium is open. So Weasel and...
Talking about these two drivers here at the moment.
That's beautiful as Big Hayes makes the pass. I did just see there Weasel and Big Hayes have just pitted. They're on the hards, which is weird because they could have came on the mediums and finished it, unless they obviously started on the mediums.
They were on the mediums, yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so that'll be that. Octopus has already made his way up to 7th. He is cruising at the moment on those hards and is absolutely going for it. But it's not going to be long before he's up the back of Welshie, and then depending on how much Scott can hold up Nexus, this could really play into Octopus's hands. And you've got to remember, Nexus will be under investigation for the incident at the restart under the safety car.
Yeah, and he's only about 4 seconds behind Chazza, who's 3.5 seconds behind Simpans.
Yep. As I said, and with Fade needing a pit stop as well, it's all to play for. As we've got DRS wide open on board with Scott, who's gone up the inside of Chaz. Chaz is just not fighting it. He knows there's no point in fighting that battle right now.
Well, Welsh has just made it really easy for Octopus. He's come into the pits. So Octopus now up into 6th place.
Yep, and up into 5th because I think Fade has pitted.
Yeah, Fade's pitted as well, yes.
So Octopus up into 5th. He is now 8 seconds behind Fade. As Nexus has taken, he's overtaken Chazza.
Fade may have made a fatal error here.
Has he moved on to the hards? Oh, he's on the mediums.
He hasn't. He's moved on to the mediums. He was already on a set of mediums.
Oh, he's going to have to stop again for a set of softs, and there's only 13 laps remaining, so yeah, I'm not sure why he's pulled that one off. The Haas boys...
My timing screens were wrong to begin with, but he was definitely on mediums. The top runners were all on mediums.
Yeah, both the Haas boys did start on mediums, you're absolutely right. Nexus is closing in on Scott. Scott is not going to concede that easy though, and he will make Nexus's life hard.
What's happened to Chazza?
Chazza just kind of, he dropped off. He let Scott go. He knew it was a battle not worth fighting, I think, on the start-finish straight. And I think Nexus just kind of got the run on him. But remember, Chazza is on the hard tyre. He's going for the long run.
He is indeed, yeah. Scott's on 14-lap old medium, so he's got to box any lap now.
Yeah, will he hold up Nexus? That's the thing. Looks like he is. I think Chaza is playing into the hands of that there might be a Nexus penalty at the end of the race, and the fact that, you know, if Nexus burns through his tyres, that it looks like he might do, then he may have to stop for softs to end this race. In chat, Kragalopicus is saying, go on Scotty, and yeah, rightfully so. One Red Bull driver in for a good run. Is that Nexus? Nexus has made it past Scott. As we have some cars going backwards at the moment, I'm not entirely sure why. Got a yellow flag in sector 2.
There's a Red Bull in the gravel there, so that must be Venom.
Venom again, not having the best of luck. Yeah, that's right. He's struggling as Venom.
Don't drink and drive.
Don't drink and drive, kids. This is what it looks like. He's on the hards. He's just trying to finish off the race, and he's just staying out of the way. So good on him. Welshie is up the back of Alexander. Welshie's on a fresh set of hard tyres.
Yeah, the two Hayes brothers are 7th and 8th at the moment. I reckon Big Hayes is going to give way to his little brother here.
We'll see. You know, these two love to battle and put on a show for the cameras. But he will have DRS. Well, Little Hayes. As the flap opens right up, he's probably in ERS. No, he's not using his ERS because he's already used it all. He'll be like, move brother, move, you're holding me up.
Let's just hope they don't come together.
Simpans has pitted, which means Nexus is taking the lead. Fade has got past Octopus. So maybe Octopus is backing off a little bit, letting his teammate maybe go ahead and challenge Nexus.
Yeah, well, Octopus has got 11 lap old hard tyres on, Fade on a brand new set of mediums, but he knows Fade needs to box again because he started the race on the medium tyres. So
yeah, that's right.
Just let him go. He's going to come back to him later on in the race anyway.
Yep, that sounds about right. As the Ferrari boys are still going for it, tooth and nail. Simpans is on the back of Brandy. Looks like there could be an overtake coming in here. Oh, that's a brilliant footage as Brandy holds his line and he pushes Simpans back behind him. This is wonderful. We have 12 laps left in this race and it's all to play for.
Yeah, this is the Brandy that we know and love.
Oh, there we go. Simpans has got him on this straight. Must be using his ERS right up. And Simpans makes the pass on the medium tyres.
There's probably up to 10 laps to go. There were talk in the paddock prior to this race about rain towards the end. Are we actually going to see that? Maybe that's what Fade's holding out for? Is that why he's put on the medium tyres again, expecting everybody to pit?
That is a very, very good point that I completely forgot. Maybe that's what Nexus is trying to roll the dice with.
Big shout out to Scott here. He's 17 laps on those medium tyres. He's really running them down to the bones.
And he's doing himself a Lewis Hamilton. He's trying to turn them into super softs by melting the rubber for extra grip by the looks of things. That's not quite how tyres work, but good on him. As we saw in the timing screens as well, Fade set the fastest lap, and then Octopus was like, I don't think so, and instantly set the faster lap just behind his teammate.
Well, if they play it smart together, then don't fight each other, they could just pull each other along to get up to that 3-second gap to Chazza.
You know what? I think that's what's happening. Fade has been catching Chazza. Octopus has been following in the slipstream of Fade, I should say. And they have pulled in Chazza at a rate of knots.
Yeah, we've said this multiple times before. These two are probably the best teammates together. Yeah, Chazza's just let them go. Let them both go.
He realises the fight's not there. He doesn't want to waste time, which is probably smart driving from Chazza, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's probably trying to make those 15-lap-old hard tyres actually last till the end. I mean, He's got another 10 laps to go on them.
I think what he's saying is, you know, in his head, he's like, okay, can you compete with Nexus? Can you compete with Octopus and Fade in a straight line race? If the answer is no, why fight them? Why waste time? When you can just get pulled along by them.
Yeah, exactly. And something else that we haven't really noticed is Blaine is now back up into a points position, back up in 8th.
He is running some slightly older tyres, but not as old as Chazza, so he should be able to get to the end. Simpans is He's coming right up the back of Blaine. Simpans is...
Scott has boxed.
Scott is boxing. God, he's went miles on those tyres. So GG is onto the softs.
He's gone onto the softs to easily make the last 9 laps of this race.
And he'll be going out fast as well. So that really releases Fade and Octopus 6 seconds behind Nexus, whose tyres must be going off about now, and he's still got 10 laps to go in them.
Yeah, Scott obviously had to serve one of his 5-second penalties there, but he's still got another one, so he's really got to hope that he can put in some banging lap times and get through this traffic quickly as possible.
Don't think there's any doubting, as he's already got past Brandy and he's coming up the back of Weasel, who has dropped off during this race. And looks like he might be fuel saving, is Scott, because he was in 4th gear around that corner, really had low revs on that Red Bull, so he might be fuel saving. At the same time, he will be pushing, if that makes any sense whatsoever, as the gap to Nexus is coming down. So Fade is catching Nexus and is pulling Octopus along with him.
It's still a massive ass though, 9 laps to go, 6.3 seconds is the gap to Nexus currently. But he needs to get that down as much as possible, depending on how much of a penalty Nexus picks up.
Yep, that'll be it. As Scott looks to go around the inside here of Weasel, not using his ERS. He has the DRS open though. 195, 197, 98, 200 mile an hour, and then he activates his ERS just for cheek. So great move by Scotty there, back up to 9th position, and 5 seconds behind Blaine.
Yeah, next up is Blaine, and Blaine is a solid defender. He won't want to let Scott past him, so he's going to have to really stand it.
So, and saying that, he has Simpans has got past Blaine. And Simpans is now chasing down the Ferrari boys, so they are still in the same order, with Big Hayes being chased by Little Hayes, but this little to and fro and not letting each other pass is, letting Simpans seriously close up on the back of them, and fresh mediums against those older hard tyres, there's only going to be one winner in this fight.
Yeah, Chazza really needs to get a move on. He's currently about 11 or 12 seconds behind the leader. If he's 12 seconds behind the leader, and if Nexus is going to pick up a penalty, it's probably going to be a 10-second one, so he needs to find 2 seconds somewhere in his pockets and get within that time.
Looking at those clouds, by the way, Silly, they are looking pretty dark in the distance. We may get rain for the last couple laps of this Chinese Grand Prix.
Is it going to be enough to put them onto the intermediate tyres, though? That's the real question. And who's going to be able to keep these slick tyres on the surface?
Yeah, it all depends on temperature. You can run these tyres in a sort of wet condition, maybe a light intermediate session, as long as you keep the tyre temperature up. But the problem is when it rains, the tyres cool. When you cool, there was a Blaine and Simpans are getting rather close. I know it's Valentine's Day, boys, but come on. We're live.
Save the kissing for after the race.
Exactly. But as I was saying, as soon as you cool those tyres down in the wet, your grip's non-existent. As Scott has a 132.6 on those fresh softs, he's powering through the pack, and he is catching Blaine at a rate of knots.
Well, the last time I seen a fastest lap, it was a 134 something, so that's an absolutely stonking time on the soft tyre.
Yeah, so he's been keeping it very sensible as Scott in terms of fuel saving, ERS saving, and now switching on to the correct tyre. He's going to come through this pack pretty quickly, and the way he keeps it up, he could possibly, 6th position, maybe even 5th by the end of it.
Yeah, Blaine's got Scott all over the back of him now. Shouldn't really fight this too much, just let him go. He's on he's on 2 tyre compound, different tyres to you.
Oh yeah, he's much faster.
I can see some spots of rain there as I'm on board with Blaine.
Let's see. Oh, you're right. The rain is starting. We have 8 laps of this race to go, and I think it's all about to kick off. Who's going to be the first one to move in for intermediates? I think it's still going to be another 1-2 laps to go. But the rain is coming.
Yeah, normally in China, when the rain starts, it normally comes with buckets attached. Let's hope that it doesn't throw out a lot of safety cars.
Fade and Octopus had one of Octopus's back end went in the last chicane. I think there may have been a little mistake there, and this is just kind of let Nexus is pitted. Nexus has gone into the pits. What is Nexus going to switch on to now?
I'll be intermediate tyres already, surely.
He's going on inters. This is an early call by Nexus. The amount of time he's going to lose. with it not being intermediate conditions yet. Because
He's in the pits. As is Chazza. Both of them have come into the pits. Chazza has gone onto a set of intermediates. He's left the box before Blaine has got there. Perfect timing by the Mercedes boys.
Oh, yeah. Is it too early for the intermediate tyre, though?
Well, this is what they've been waiting for. Obviously, this is what their whole strategy was about. Stick on those hards, go as long as possible, wait for that rain to come, and then be... That's why they haven't been fighting. Well, Chazza especially.
I don't know. I think this might be too early. Nexus, where is he? He's came back out into 7th. Let's see how his times do against King of Kart. He is dropping ridiculous times. Like, he is dropping serious time to Little Hayes right now. This is not intermediate conditions. I think he's came in a couple of laps too quick. Oh, Simpans has gone off.
Yeah, I was just going to say, there's a pink car in Sector 2 there. Maybe these guys are spot on. But we haven't seen the DRS disabled sign yet, which is normally the good indicator of when to put on the wetter tyres.
Yeah, exactly that. But looking at it there, King of Kart was only 2.5 to 3 seconds ahead of Nexus. He is now, what, over 5.5, almost 6 seconds up on him. As Scott moves up into 3rd position. I think it was too early. Octopus is in the pits right now. Is he moving on to the intermediates now?
I'll let you know as soon as I see.
I still think it's a lap or two too early. Yep, it's intermediates for the Haas boys. Nexus is coming through the start-finish straight right now.
Octopus is in front of Nexus. Oh no, as Nexus just overtakes Octopus going into turn 1 there, I believe.
But remember, there was almost a 7-second gap between them. It is now down to 1.3 seconds. That is how much time Nexus has lost on those intermediates in these conditions. Oh, as Weasel has hit the wall, he's gone round and he's lost some of his front wing.
So it definitely is getting to that stage now where the wet weather tyres are going to be the better tyre to be on.
The drivers are struggling, yeah, some of them are sliding about the place. They are going very, very slow.
Blaine's really struggling on these intermediate tyres at the moment. He just can't get them to work properly for him. He's gone back down to 15th place, whereas Chaz is up into 11th.
Yeah, Welsh is struggling. He's lost a bit of end plate somewhere. As Bert the Shirt makes a lunge around the outside of Blaine.
Wet weather tyres compared to dry weather tyres, and look at the traction that Bert had over Blaine there.
That's it. I mean, as I said, it was too early. It is just too early. The track's not wet enough, and we've still got 5.5 laps to go. Beth Jones, come on the Ferrari boys. Look at that, 3rd and 4th place for the Hayes brothers, and comfortably at that. Yeah,
they're going to try and sweat it out on those dry tyres for as long as possible.
Octopus is catching Nexus. Now, Nexus had an extra lap, maybe 2 laps on these intermediates. I think it was just a single lap. So he's burnt these tyres off in these conditions. It's not wet enough to keep these tyres cool.
Fade is now in the pits. Fade is now in the pits, which gives Scott the lead of this race, with Hayes up into the 2nd and Little Hayes up into 3rd place.
This is ridiculous. Come on, the Ferrari boys. This is what we want to see. Simpans up into 4th. But this is what I'm saying here right now, is these intermediates, they need to be kept cool. They're groove tyres. They've got chunks on the surface which will move around. They generate heat and they will burn themselves off. As we have... Oh, El Mariachi has spun at the last corner. As we've got car after car after car diving into the pits right now. But DRS has still not been deactivated.
No, it hasn't. And we're looking at the top 5 in. Oh, Fade... Whoa, Fade went into the pits. He had to do another pit stop anyway, but he's come into the pits and put on a set of soft tyres.
He has taken his brave pill and he is chasing the Ferrari boys down. And at the moment, it looks like it was the right choice. The rain isn't coming down that heavy. And you know, Nexus and Octopus on the intermediates are falling backwards.
Oh yeah, Nexus 5 seconds behind Simpans at the minute. Oh, King of Karts had an off there. He's down into 5th place, dropping down the field. Is sector 3. He's lost the back end going round onto the back straight.
Oh, unlucky for Little Hayes. He'll be kicking himself, but it's okay. Big Hayes is still up in second place for the Ferrari boys.
King of cart, more like king of bottle.
Oh, we can't be that hard on him.
DRS has now been disabled.
So
Sorry to cut you off there.
It's alright, yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. So now it's about time to go on to the intermediates.
Scott was perfectly timed there. He was on the perfect part of the circuit to get that notice that DRS is disabled. He comes straight into the pits and has slapped on a set of intermediate tyres. Now Fade's gamble to go onto the softs is really going to hurt him.
Yeah, and he's not that far up the road from these guys. And the thing is, Simpans is going to have to pit as well. He's on the mediums. Nexus and Octopus will take the provisional lead of this race. But Scott's going to have, I think, the advantage. Scott's still got a penalty. I don't know who that is. We have another yellow flag somewhere in Sector 2. Oh, Caparaz. We've lost Caparaz somewhere in Sector 2. I'm not...
At the beginning of Sector 2, yeah, he's come around that first right-hand turn, and then just dropped it.
That is unfortunate from Caparaz.
As Blaine just makes a move on Brandy. And we said the Mercedes boys probably had come in a little bit too early for these tyres. But look at them now. They're up to 7th and 8th, which is arguably better than where they was prior to this rain coming down.
That's exactly that. Simpans is really struggling. Scott's already got past him. Octopus and Nexus.
Simpans 7-lap old medium tyres. He's got to come in and pit. He can't make those tyres go for another 3 laps, surely.
Fade is trying his damnedest to stay out on those softs. But Nexus and Octopus are coming to catch him. Octopus is losing ground on Nexus at the moment.
I'm on board with Fade at the moment as he's coming into the hard right-hand turn after the back straight. I'll tell you if he darts into the pits or not. As he's drifting it around.
I think his best option would be to pit. Yes, is he's going to? No?
No, he doesn't.
He is going to hold up Nexus for his teammate, I believe.
I don't think he's going to be able to in the slightest. Those intermediate tyres are going to have far superior grip going around turn 1 and 2 here.
He just needs to hold the line, will he? Unfortunately, he doesn't. He's going to make the push. Nope. And now he's just going to get in the way of Octopus, unfortunately.
That's where he's got to jump out of the way straight away, and he does.
Big Hayes has dropped down to 6th position. Simpans is still out on the medium, so Big Hayes will catch him.
Big Hayes is all over the back of him going into turn 2 here.
He's eating him up, and behind him it's Chaza. Yep, Venom. Venom's coming to unlap himself right now.
Oh dear, that's not going to end well.
Oh, Simpans. This is so unfortunate for the Racing Point driver, especially his teammate being out as Chaza dives up the inside, later on the brakes, more grip down the inside and up into 6th position.
I was looking at the delta, and Simpans was nearly 3 seconds in front of Chaza as Big A's overtook him, and he's lost that entire amount of time just going through turns 1 and 2.
Such a shame for Simpans. He was on for such a great result, but if he wants to kind of get anything out of this, he will need to pit now. Big Hayes is 10 seconds behind Scott, who is a further 2.5 seconds behind Fade, but Scott is coming. He's got his ERS wide open. He is going for it. He is eating into Fade right now.
Well, Fade's did an amazing job on those soft tyres to not be hemorrhaging time like Simpans has been doing. I mean, Blaine was 10 seconds behind Simpans. He's now right on the back of his gearbox.
Yep, as Scott goes up into 3rd position, but he will have a 5-second time penalty. But I guarantee the next 2.5 laps, sorry, he will push ahead. Octopus is all over the gearbox of Nexus right now with a lap fresher set of intermediate tyres.
Simpans just lost 2 positions there. Blaine and Little Hayes both following each other through, and Simpans doesn't have an answer, and he's stayed out. He has stayed out. He's going to finish the race on these tyres.
He's keen, I'll give him that. The unfortunate thing, I think the reason that Fade can hold it together is on the softs, they can generate heat a lot quicker, so he can get more grip in there. Simpans on the mediums, they can't generate that much heat. The tyres are cooling down a lot quicker. And unfortunately, it's not going to be enough for him, as we're still on board here with Octopus and Nexus, as Octopus has an absolutely storming run here. Will
this
he
is
get
going to be
Nexus?
for the lead going down the back straight, I believe.
It's not quite onto the back straight. We're almost there though. One turn, one
Yeah,
banking
he's
right-hander.
close enough though, isn't he? He's close enough.
As he left in the ERS, he's sliding the back of that Haas all about the shop. Yep, ERS wide open.
See no DRS to assist him with this overtake, and I imagine Nexus is probably just using all of his as well to try and keep in front.
Probably. They are catching, though. Catching. As Hayes is up into 4th. Big Hayes is past Fade, and Chaza is catching the back of the Haas driver as well. And this will be up into 5th position for the Mercedes driver.
What a day. Team of the day for me today. Got to be the Merc boys.
Merc boys have done really well. If it wasn't for Little Hayes' accident, it would have been 4th and 5th with Ferrari boys, but it's not over yet. Little Hayes is all over the back of Blaine. As he dives down the inside, that was a perfect switching manoeuvre. But
he's run a little bit too wide.
Yep, Blaine, naughty from Blaine there. He was like, hello, this is mine, elbows are out.
Boys just get to the end. A little bit of a corner cut by Little Hayes there, but didn't come to any better lap time.
Exactly, there wasn't much to it at all. It's
these boys should be fighting each other. They've got Fade 5 seconds in front of them, who's on the soft tyres. They should be trying to get after him.
Oh, his Little Hayes has it. Oh, Blaine, what are you doing?
That was a nice save, though.
Nice save, but he should not have cut in like that. That was a bit naughty from Blaine, but both cars have got away with it. Up into 7th for King of Car, and he is just eating into the back of Fade right now.
This is about to come onto the back straight here with Octopus right up his gearbox on the final lap of this Grand Prix.
It's indeed.
Yellow flag in sector 2.
It's Fade, I believe. Yep, Fade's gone backwards. Blaine is now up into 7th position.
Yeah, and Octopus isn't close enough to overtake Nexus here.
Didn't have the ERS. So
and his fuel light's flashing as well.
He's absolutely been pushing it. But as we come around the final corner, it will be Nexus to take the victory. However, under a steward's inquiry for the safety car restart, Octopus in 2nd position. We'll go on board with Scott. Fantastic race from Scott. He will have a time penalty, but it looks like it's not going to affect him. He should be on the podium at the end of this.
12 seconds back to Big Hayes, so he's definitely going to hold on to that podium position.
Fantastic run there from Scott. Fantastic. Big Hayes. There we go. 4th place for the Ferrari driver. Fantastic result. Chaza in 5th. Little Hayes will come in 6th position. Yes, we have him there. Blaine in 7th position. Fade is unfortunately going backwards in 9th as he comes into the final corner. He'll be happy to have at least just made it to the end there.
I said it's got to be like the Mercedes, but I don't know. The Ferrari boys are right up there with them. Can we have 2 or can we not?
I think we can have 2 drivers of the day. I think 2 drivers of the day for sure. Both Mercedes and Ferrari deserve that one. Both of them have had some great results. Oh no, Bert the shirt has crashed out. No, inside
for the
wall.
Finish line.
No. Oh, how unlucky can you get?
He's done a Giovinazzi.
Well, she comes through for a 13th. Mariachi will be coming through for a 15th.
It's a solid drive by Welshie, man. He was up there for quite a lot of the race, and he's kept it on the surface, and there's no points today, but it's still a solid drive by him.
Solid finish, and there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. A fantastic race, absolutely wonderful end. Driver of the day, Hayes 95. I think that's well deserved.
Well deserved. He's got one over on his little brother there because it was up for either them or 2 of the 2 Mercedes boys could have argued to be driver of the day there as well.
So the podium, we have Nexus in 1st, we have Octopus in 2nd, and Scott for Red Bull in 3rd place. Fantastic drive from Scott as well today after probably not the best qualifying session. Action packed from start to finish, but yeah, fantastic race. Really enjoyed that.
Absolutely loved that. The end of that race was unreal.
Yeah, some differing tactics. Some have worked, some have not. Fade still comes away with a couple of points, so he'll not be all lost. The biggest loser out of all of that, unfortunately, was Simpans, who just went backwards. But yeah, a fantastic effort from all involved this afternoon. I believe Scott's fastest time of 1:32.766 was definitely what we wanted to see. We're just going to take a little screenshot of the results there. I believe we'll be jumping on to some interviews. We'll try and get the podium guys up first. And we'll see if we can get them to join us.
Nexus is currently fully muted, so I don't know if we'll be able to grab hold of him straight away.
Can we possibly grab Fade? And we'll try and get Octopus first. And is Scotty about? We love Scotty. We'll grab Scotty. So if you just bear with us for one moment while we get these drivers in and about. So if you just bear with us 1 second, we'll see who can join us here. Let's see if I can get Scotty up, if Discord will be nice and let me move drivers. So we have Octopus and we have Fade as well. So we'll get the point of view from the Haas boys. Octopus, great result. Second at the moment, however, Nexus is under a steward's inquiry for that safety car restart. Can we get your point of view first of all of that accident?
Yeah, so like I was coming up to the final turn, and then I left quite a bit of a gap, and then just thought maybe I could get a little bit of a run on it, and then just kind of tried to match his pace, and then it just slowed down and braked into me. I mean, he did message me after and say it was like a game thing where the safety car slows you down. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll just have to look into it, really.
Yeah, because from what we saw from our cameras, it kind of looked like he came around the final corner. Everyone was getting ready to put the foot down, and he almost like basically came to a halt, and you went up the back of him, which pretty much ruined your chances of taking the win there. A great comeback, however, from yourself.
Yeah, so I obviously got wing damage there and had to go onto the hards, I think. Which actually the hards had some good pace on them, so yeah, did a few nice overtakes and stuff. It was good fun.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it was good fun. Obviously, moving into the later stages of the race, the weather changed. Personally, I felt in the commentary box watching you guys, you came in maybe a lap or two too early for the intermediate. You did lose a lot of pace to begin with. Was that tactical, or was there something more involved?
Well, for me personally, I thought Nexus is my rival, so I'll try and match his strategy, and then obviously, I thought if I took a gamble and then it got really bad, it could have just messed my chances up in terms of finishing near him. It was more to do with that rather than like where I finished in the field. But yeah, definitely could have stayed out a couple more laps.
Yeah, we thought that, but still, congratulations, second place. It all might change, obviously, depending on the Stewart's inquiry. We'll grab a quick word with Fade while you're here. Talk us through the kind of end of your race there. You didn't want to switch tyres, which in the end, it had cost you quite a few places. Talk us through what your decision was on that.
The light rain came down, and I drove, and the weather didn't change. It was light rain, and I asked Jeff, and he said the rain will clear up in 10 minutes. So I thought it's not going to be that bad, so I'm going to pit for the soft tires and take a gamble. When I come out of the pit, I was in position for first. Yeah, and the rain got so bad. So I took a gamble, and it didn't pay off today.
Yeah, unfortunate. You still came in with 2 points, so not all lost. But before that, obviously, a great race from you. And
Was it the intention to go onto the medium tyres for the second stint, or?
Yeah, Jeff told me 10 to 15 minutes to the rain, so I thought I'll go to the medium to be sure my soft tyres will totally broken before the rain will come down. So yeah.
So it sounds like Jeff stabbed you in the back on that one, I think, just a little bit.
Good old Jeff.
But I took the gamble and it didn't pay off, so I'm a little bit mad off myself. But Shit happens, and maybe I win the next one. Hopefully,
Yeah.
and get some points to the team.
That's it. You finished the race, and that's all that counts. You did get a couple of points. The Haas, again, for the 4th race in a row, is finishing with points. So the championship's looking pretty steady for you guys. But what we'll do now is we'll shuffle along. I don't think Nexus is available, and we'll grab Scotty as well. So we'll round off the podium. Then I think we'll get the Ferrari boys and Racing Point in.
Sounds good.
But thanks very much for joining us in the box.
We have Nexus.
Our race winner. Good evening, Nexus. Fantastic result from you. Obviously, changing weather patterns kind of spiced the race up. One thing I really want to talk about is the safety car incident. Can you talk us through what happened there?
I don't like how it went. We were slowing down with the safety car. The safety car went into the pits, and mid last turn, I decided to go full throttle, like I always do. I just when the game starts me to accelerate, I just accelerate. So I accelerate, and then the game decided to auto brake me for a millisecond. So you can see that my car bugged a bit.
Yeah, because we were following from the commentary box. It just kind of looked like you jammed on the brakes suddenly, and then unfortunately Octopus kind of went up the back of you, and it kind of ruined his race. So the stewards are looking into that right now.
Yeah, I mean, I missed it. I was on board with somebody else at the time, but I'm interested to review the live stream again. I think that there is an issue that if you're too close to the safety car before it's got itself into the pits, then it does limit your throttle.
Yeah.
So there's with that pit entry where the car has to go straight and then turn, it can be a little bit glitchy. So maybe something to learn there is to give the safety car a lot more space before you go racing again.
Yeah, definitely.
Apart from that, how did you feel the race went, especially with the changing weather conditions?
Went well. I'm definitely amazed with the pace on the hards from an Octopus. Was really fast. Keep pushing out fast slaps while I was on a medium, and I just couldn't keep on with him. My softs worked really well. My mediums too. I wanted to go on the softs on the latest stint, but then the rain came in. So yeah, the inters worked really well, but I definitely love the teamwork of the Haas. Well, like, what the hell?
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're fantastic how they work in unison. We did feel that you kind of may have moved on to the intermediates a lap or two early. You were losing a lot of time.
Yeah, I know.
And that, do you feel yourself that you may have rushed into changing the tyres, or did you want to play that long run?
Yeah, I definitely rushed it, but the mediums were I almost dead, so I thought, yeah, let's go on the inters. But I thought that the grip was less compared to the dry situation. But then Octopus really followed me. I think it just went one lap later.
Yeah, that's right. And what I found, which was quite interesting, is before you switched to the intermediates, he was 6 seconds behind you. You've pitted a lap early, and then you came out the pits, and he was literally 1.2 seconds behind you. So you lost like almost 5 seconds in that one lap to him.
Yeah, I was watching the map, and I was seeing him approaching while I was in the pit lane, and I thought, oh no.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
1 second, yeah.
Yeah,
If I'm wrong as well, but I think it was 3 or 4 laps after you had put on the intermediate tyres before the DRS got disabled.
Yeah. Didn't notice.
That really helped Scotty out because he stayed out for that whole time and then just jumped in as he was literally coming up to the pit lane entrance as the DRS got disabled, so he just dove straight in.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, you did get the result. As I said, the stewards will look into it. We'll obviously see if the glitch has got anything to do with it. We're going to have to play the fair game because Octopus ended up being the victim of all that.
Definitely.
But for the moment, congratulations on your win. Thank you very much for taking some time to speak with us.
Thank you.
And I think we'll grab a few other drivers together. So we'll let you go off and enjoy your evening.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
Thanks very much.
Bye.
Goodbye for now. So, I'm going to grab a couple more up here all at once. So we're going to get Chaza up in here. We're going to get Hayes up in here. We're going to get Little Hayes up in here. And we're going to get Scotty up in here.
Hello.
Well,
So
the race was an eventful one, same as qualifying, I'd like to say.
we'll get to you in a minute, Chazza. You just had your horses. We have a script, okay? You're not involved in the script right now. Scotty, third place. Talk us through your race.
Oh man, I don't know. Like I'm a bit confused out of all the chaos. Like I don't know what to say. Whether if I have the P3 or not, you know.
Is this
Talk as if you have the P3 for now, and then whatever happens in the steward's room.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm excited. Like honestly, but it was a difficult race. Like I don't know. Like I don't think I'm happy with it, but yeah, good points for the team.
You must be happy with your timing of the DRS being disabled as you was literally coming up to the pits to jump onto those intermediate tyres.
Well, the idea was to go all the way with those medium tires, but I think around lap 18, I realized I was on about 70%, and I was like, no, I need to pit now for the softs, and it was either now or never, so I had to do it, and I gained a couple of positions there. See, so yeah, it was quite intense. With this tire strategy there.
So yeah, talk us through. There's a lot of we're kind of keeping an eye on the reports kind of section right now, and there's a lot being said about turn one. We only saw a little bit of it, which was a racing point getting sent to the moon.
The Shadow Realm.
Shadow Realm. Sorry, we're gonna go Super GT style here. He got sent to the Shadow Realm. We obviously didn't catch a lot of it because anything, we like to kind of cover the fast guys. No offense, but no.
That's why never in coverage.
So in all seriousness, Scotty, what happened through turn one?
Honestly, after that, I don't know what happened to Nexus. Apparently, he just got stopped dead by the game or whatnot. So I kind of swerved to avoid him, but that was just before the restart. And as we restarted, I see Bert was busy sitting there. So I was like, well, it's a green light. I need to go. I can't just wait here for someone to realize he needs to start racing. So I set off, and as I set off, I realized, cool, I'm clear of him. I realized he was one of the guys in front, and then as I turned to try get the racing line, then I realized I messed up a little bit, as I think Little Hayes was next to me.
Yeah, it was a weird one.
Yeah, because honestly, like it came so quick, because I was just like, I'm past all these other cars, but because I'm sitting in the cockpit view, I can't see what's next to me.
Yeah.
So it was
weird coming off the final corner, because it was like, obviously I came around the final corner, there was 4 of us just across the track. So I was like, okay, got the green flag, went round the outside of about 3 people, and as I got to turn 1, there was just this impact. I was like, whoa, and then obviously we all watched the replay, and it was all a total mess anyway. So
yeah, like honestly, like I don't know what else we could have done better there, because it was just mental. And then once I
agree.
Once I spun, that's when there was just like a series of events there. Like one hit me, another one hit me. I went off the track. I got the 10-second penalty for letting everyone go by. So it was like, it was
Yeah.
just like.
I don't have any complaints. I came out of T1 in the same position I went into it, so after all that, I was alright.
Yeah, so I don't know. Apparently, I messed up. What's his name? Blaine's wing as well. So I don't know, but we'll see what the stewards say.
No, for me, my race went turn 1, kind of a wee little racing point, went
Chazza.
round.
Chazza.
What, Paddy?
We'll get to you. You're not in the script yet. The next one's up. Shut up, Chazza. Shut up. Professionalism. The Hayes brothers, fantastic result with the Ferraris. You must be proud of yourselves.
Yes, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that race. As usual, my qualifying was awful, but you don't get any points for that. And yeah, I just kind of assumed that there'll probably be a bit of carnage in the first corner, so I thought, P14, I think I'll get through a crowd over there, which I did. And yeah, I managed to just keep it on the track and get P4, and I think that's my highest so far, so I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah, and obviously with some stewards.
You finished a race for once.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, both of you finished a race.
Hey, that's 2 in a row. That's pretty good for me.
Obviously, with some steward inquiries ongoing, it could turn out to be a podium for you guys as well, for yourself, Big Hayes. So maybe
that'll be really good.
A bit of cheeky celebration.
Either way, yeah. I mean, I'm really happy with P4, but a podium would be a bonus.
Yeah, and obviously watching the race go on, you two guys were nose to tail throughout most of the final part of the race until, talk us what happened around, I think it's turn 12, Little Hayes coming onto the back straight. We caught you, cutting some grass.
Yeah, so I went too far into there, so I had to turn tight anyway. Went totally across the grass for that first left. Then as you come through the tight right, which opens up, I was on like 50% worn hard, and it started to rain, and it just went Spinella.
All I could hear from behind me was just, watch out!
So keeping up the Ferrari trend there of Spinella. Beautiful. You guys get a lot of support in the chat on the stream as well, so you're very loved, and to obviously get the results tonight, get some good points, your fans are awfully happy, making the Tifosi very proud. So congratulations to the both of you for A, finishing a race, and B, actually getting some points.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Paddy.
Must feel good. Chazza, how you doing?
Am I allowed to speak yet?
You're allowed to speak now.
Yes.
How did your turn 1 go in the first lap?
I'll open up the book of the last story. Right, Racing Point went a little bit of a shadow realm first corner. I don't know if it was his fault. I'm not saying that. Which caused me to get wing damage and near enough roadblocks. Put down to about 18th. Pitted just to try and get my wings changed. They decided to put hards on me as well. Didn't really mean to put hards on, but got some nice hards on. And then went around the track, kind of doing okay, collecting positions, going up. And then me and Blaine kind of thought, it's a bit time for intermediates. We messed up, it was a bit too early, so we ended up being a dog around the track for a couple of laps until it actually did rain.
Yeah, a few drivers were like that. Nexus and Octopus also decided to go on the intermediates very early, and it cost them a lot of time, unfortunately. But
but then also coming into later in the race, it has actually become beneficial because as it started to rain more and more around the track, like we were starting to catch people, or at least play consistent, but they still had to pit on the intermediates. Mm-hmm. So we were catching places, and then coming down towards the end, I stayed within 5 seconds of Big Hayes due to an incident that started. I got a 5-second penalty at the start, but of course that's happened after the race. We're talking in the race. Mm-hmm. But then I noticed trying to think Fade didn't change onto intermediates. He sticked on softs and he lost a load of places.
Yeah, he actually boxed and went onto those softs.
I say because I saw him like 14 seconds on one lap. And as I came into third sector, it was like 4 seconds away. I was like, we've got a chance here, boys. We've got a chance here.
Yeah, it was kind of a failed plan and a bit of a fallout between Fade and Jeff, as we've heard. So let's just say Jeff will not be in the good books this evening of Fade. Probably fired. The turn 1 incident, from what we saw, the Racing Point was not at fault. It looked like he'd been turned or he'd just lost the back end. Unfortunately parked in the middle of the track, and that's...
I think me and maybe a Red Bull, I think it was maybe beside me, took the full brunt of it because we were literally T-boned, as in I couldn't go forward.
Yeah.
I went from 9th to 18th from around that corner.
As we said during the stream, it was very much a Roman Grosjean in Spain, just with less tyre smoke. There was nowhere for anyone to go. I think it was you and Venom that got caught up in that one. Venom suffered pretty badly in this race, but that was probably through bad decision making and alcohol.
I'm glad you said it. I was about to jump in there with the alcohol statement.
But overall, a good recovery to drive from you, Chazza. Blaine as well. You guys came away from some good points for Mercedes, and will probably lift yourselves off the near foot of the table.
So well, to sum up my race: 9th, 18th, 7th, 13th to 5th.
I'd say that's a good result.
I started 9th and I finished 5th, but with Stewart's inquiries, I think that could change.
I think it will change over the course of the
evening. We're in for a busy evening this evening, aren't we, Paddy?
The fun never ends.
Crack open the beer and get it going.
Might be a plan. But thanks very much, Chazza, for taking the time. We're going to follow on to our last interviewee this evening.
I just want to say quickly, thank you to Stream for watching, and we'll chip in this Wednesday to watch Division 2's race. Woo! And of course next weekend to watch F2 and F1s. will Division 1, F1 and F2's race next weekend.
Yeah, exactly that. Just do my job for me, Chaz, why don't you? You know, just.
Yeah.
But, thanks for taking the time out.
You two enjoy yourselves, yeah?
We will indeed.
Cheers,
So
mate. Speak to you soon.
And we'll move on now to our final interviewee this evening, Walter White, aka Simpans, for the Racing Point team. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, hello.
Hi there, Walt. So talk us through. You had a really good, start of the race. You planned some perfect pit stops. You came through the field great, and your race then kind of came apart in the end. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I had a great start, but after that, the rain came, and it went all down. So I'm not happy with my result.
What was the logic behind not boxing onto the intermediate tyres when everybody else pretty much done that?
I thought the medium will be good for the last laps, but it won't. It didn't. Yes.
Yeah, it seemed like your tyres just cooled off really quickly. I mean, you were sitting there up in second position for most of the race,
Yes.
right towards the end, and then obviously it just looked like your grip just non-existent. You didn't want to risk pitting, which I think overall you lost more time by not pitting for intermediates. So a bit of a regrettable decision from yourself.
I thought we wanted a lot of points for this race. Unfortunately, my teammate retired. He had terminal damage, so.
Yeah, he did get caught up on that really big turn 1 accident. Sorry, Silly.
Yeah, I was on board down in the midfield there going into turn 1. Obviously, Paddy was on board at the front as watching it for the stream's point of view, but it looked like he just lost the back end. Did he say anything to you about what happens going into turn 1?
He just said he spun, so he wasn't happy.
That's all right then. My eyes weren't deceiving me, and it looked like he had just lost the back end of it, and the cars behind him just had nowhere to go and ended up running into him.
Yeah, I got damage because of that.
It was really unfortunate. You guys looked like you were on for some pretty good points. We're just noticing Edic is also saying in the chat, so your teammate at Racing Point saying that he was hit from the back end and didn't lose the rear. So the stewards will probably have to have a very, very busy night. It might be 2 beers at this rate.
Yeah, I mean, it's a problem with these games and it being online. I discussed this yesterday, is the fact that it's all over the internet and not everybody's got exactly the same internet, and there are desync issues. There was an incident yesterday where 2 drivers had a slight coming together going around a corner. One guy spun, but on my screen, I was on board watching at the time, they made 0 contact. So it's got to be a little bit of a desync thing. And that's what everybody needs to bear in mind when they're racing in these leagues, is to give each other a little bit more space. Because if a car just desyncs slightly and jumps backwards, you're going to end up in a world of pain. So it's a lesson for everybody to learn.
Yeah, I mean, I've just had some more news in there. It says it was a Mercedes that came up the side of him and knocked the front of the car round. So that lead Mercedes at the time would have been Blaine, with Chaza being behind. But without any kind of solid proof, it's going to be a hard one to kind of decide on. We'll just see what is brought forward to us. But again, an unfortunate kind of end of the race there. You were on for some really good points. It was a fantastic race from yourself. We were enjoying watching you race tonight, Simpans. And it's just unfortunate that it didn't go your way because of the tyre strategy.
Yeah, thank you.
But hopefully some better luck for next weekend. But thanks very much for taking the time to talk with us this evening. We'll let you go and do whatever you need to do. We are probably going to go cry in the steward's box about turn 1. It's going to be a long evening, but it's going to be fun. Let's just say the results are not final right now.
Yeah, I've not even opened up that chat channel yet because I'm just waiting. It's going to be like a lot of reading.
You don't want to. But again, looking towards the stream, thanks very much for supporting us, guys. All those that have followed this evening, all those that have jumped in chat. hedging your support towards everyone who's out on track. We really appreciate everything that you do for us. The stream will be uploaded to YouTube around about this time tomorrow evening, and we will be back on Wednesday for the onboard view with myself and Team Alfa Romeo, team commentator, should I say, for the Division 2 series. So looking forward to seeing you all there.
Indeed, yeah, and before we wrap it up, I mean, we're ending on a rather negative note here with everybody and all these penalties and stuff like that, and having to go to the steward's room and discuss who was wrong and whether it's the game's fault or not. But let's not take away from the fact that it was an absolutely unbelievable race, and a lot of the drivers did race extremely fair, and a lot of these instances were game related or internet related. Rather than drivers just absolutely wanting to punt each other around the circuit, as you see on the official virtual Grand Prix.
Oh yeah, absolutely agree with you. There was some fantastic racing. You're bound to get one or two incidents in a league anyway. It's the voucher. You see it in real life anyway.
And China's one of those circuits where if you're a little bit off the pace, but you want to hold on to your position, it's very, very easy to end up taking damage or giving damage to people. So hopefully we move on to the next race next week and have another amazing race. Bring on the rain.
Yes, and we are at Zandvoort in the Netherlands for the next run, so that's going to be an extremely interesting track, one of my personal favourites. So looking forward to seeing you all there for Saturday. Let me just quickly check the Division 2 calendar. It's Sao Paulo, isn't it? It's Brazil.
It is Brazil, and I've got a brand new G29, and I'm absolutely rubbish with it. So I don't expect to be anywhere near the pace or even finish.
Well, let's hope I can finish and get some points for the team. It'll be nice to get at least a couple on the leaderboard. But again, thanks very much.
Just turn into your race engineer.
That might work. You do a lot better job than Jeff anyway. Again, thanks very much for joining us this evening, ladies and gents. Hope you enjoyed what we have presented to you, and we look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. Take it easy for then.
See you guys.
Good night.